Hi everyone, you are starting to work on drawing 6.3. So let's take a look at this because it looks a little more complicating than it really has to. And that's because we have something called the revolve feature. So you can use a revolve feature for any circular part. Now, it doesn't mean you can do the entire part in one swoop using revolve. In this case, you can, but it really makes life a lot easier. So let's take a look at this. We know that we have a circular part here, and we know that they have done a section cut so that we can see everything that's going on inside of it. So we have this surface that we're seeing right here. We have this surface that we're seeing here. And then we have the bottom one that we're seeing here, and there's a nice big radius here. So when we know that it's cut in half, we know that we only have to draw half of it, and then we can revolve it around. In this case, if we look at the section cut, we have the top half that is a mirror image of the bottom half. So we really only have to draw half our section cut. So let's go ahead and tackle that. I'm going to start my sketch. And I'm going to have my origin be the middle. Imagine right here that we have to cut this in half. So let's go ahead and draw a line that goes from here up. Now, this lines up with this circle, and it's a diameter of 3.5, but we only want half of that. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to type 3.5 slash or divided by 2. Okay, I want to come around, which is 0.5 to go level, 0.5. And then I want to come back down, come over and come up. So one thing you can do is let's go ahead and just get our shape in here and we can add these great dimensions. Can you do it as you're going? Absolutely. It's important when you're doing this, make sure you're not accidentally lining up with the other parts that you've drawn so far, because that will definitely make your life difficult. And then I'm going to go ahead and come across and close it out. Okay, the one thing that's important for you to notice is when we cut this in half, this is a hole. So we need to actually have our sketch come across here because we have to have this whole feature, which means that this line is going to be a construction line. So change that. And then if we come in here, we're going to actually trim this little section and this little section. And now we've created that hole that's in here. So let's add some dimensions. We did the 1.75. Let's go ahead and do all the diameters first. The next one is 4.5, and if we were to draw a line straight over, it will line up right here, and that's how we know that's what it is. So here, now make sure you come down to that origin because we can't stop at this line. It has to be half of it. So 4.5 divided by 2. And then this one on the bottom is going to be the biggest here. And they actually dimensioned it over on this side. So I'm going to go from here back to my origin. And it's 6, and I know half of 6 is 3. So I'm going to type in 3. We know from the left side all the way to the right side is 7. So let's go ahead and add that. So you can see we drew ours much shorter, and that's okay. It's going to look funky at the beginning, but once we add all these measurements, it'll be fine. We know this length here is 1. We know we did the 1/2 inch already. From the edge to this first surface is 1.2. And the length of this is 0.75. Okay, so here we have, let's kind of look over to make sure we have all of our measurements. I know we still have our fillets in here to do, but I'm seeing we have 5 dimensions needed. So I really want to take a look and see what we're missing. We have this little circle here that we forgot to dimension, and it's a 1/2 inch. So remember, it's going to be half of that 1/2 inch. So if you don't know what that is, we'll do 0.5 divided by 2. Now let's see what else is moving. I'm going to just kind of zoom in. Let's hide those. Here we go. This did not go vertical with our origin, so I'm going to do a vertical constraint from this corner and our origin. That looks great. We still have 3 dimensions that we're missing, so let's see what else is happening here. I'm just selecting endpoints and trying to drag them. Okay, we don't have a measurement here. So let's look at our drawing. So it looks like on the drawing, this measurement was missed. We should have a diameter for this. It's this circle here. And I'm also noticing we don't have one for this one either, which would be this one here. They're hidden in this view, the hidden lines, because they're behind these faces. You can't see them if you were looking at the part straight down. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to choose a dimension that looks close to where these would be, and then we just have to make sure that we fix this for the future. That looks pretty darn close. So I made that a 1/2 inch. And then this one, before I dimension it, I'm going to just kind of drag it down where it's close, and then that will, so I'm not guessing at the dimension so much. So we'll make that an even inch. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here so we know that's for that. There we go. So we can make sure we can see everything. Okay, let's add our radiuses. So 0.25. We have our fillet, 0.25. And we need this corner and this corner. You can see it here. It's calling out 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. So let's do this one as well. And then over here, it's big. It's a 1.5. So let's change this. And then move over to this corner. There we go. Okay, it's showing we still have 1 dimension needed. So let's see if we can find which dimension that is. Let's keep just grabbing at some of these. It could be a line that's not horizontal or vertical, something that we might have missed. Every time you grab those, you just kind of have to hide them so they get out of your way. Okay, so I think that because we have this gap in here, this is what's causing us to need a further dimension. So we're going to go ahead and just go straight to our revolve. So let's kind of expand this to make it a little bigger. So let's go to revolve. It chose it for us. Let's go ahead and look at an angle. So we have our profile, which it chose, And now it's wanting to know the axis that we're selecting. If you expand the origin, you have 3 axes. And here we can't see them because we're in the middle of it. So let's exit that. When I sit on top of X, you can see it's highlighted there. This one's highlighted up and down, and this is the other direction. So we actually want the X axis. So let's go back into Revolve. And then when we do select axis, you're going to want the X axis. There we go. And hit OK. And here we have it. Nice and simple using the Revolve. Great job, guys.